comic book fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I am your host, as always, Cammy. Now, I was up till midnight last night reading my comic books because I had no time since Wednesday to review anything. So, I'm a little tired, but I'm awake, and I've got all my juicy picks because this week was a kick-ass week, people. But enough about how kick-ass this week was. Let's get on to the pick of the week. From Gerard Way and Gabriel, we have The Umbrella Academy Dallas #4. Now, the thing about this issue is the Seance comes back. But he comes back in the most creative of ways. He's tied to a chair, he has shoes on his feet so he can't use his powers, but since he's been shot in the head from last issue, the waitress, the unsung hero of this issue, takes off his shoes and says he didn't want to die wearing these shoes, he told me. And Space Boy, aka #1, is immovable on the floor, can't move. Hazel and Cha-Cha come back into the room on a sugar high, and they're ready to kill him, or torture him, to find out where #5 is. Turns out, Seance can take over their minds and make them do things they don't want to do. For instance, have Hazel kill Cha-Cha and then kill himself. And it leaves you in like a state of shock because that was so unexpected. You didn't see that coming. Seance gets his revenge. Meanwhile, in between time, or at the end of time, #5 and his sister are going over the plan with the Temps agency on how to go back in time and kill JFK. Make sure the assassination goes as planned. Because the first time #5 went, when he was an old man, he killed all the Temps and didn't kill JFK, making it an alternate universe. So they're supposed to go back in time, stop his older self from not doing the job, and it gets kind of confusing. But basically, next two issues are going to take place back in 1963. At the end, you see Kraken, Space Boy, and Seance go dig up Pogo's old grave, find a Temp agent there, and they decide, okay, let's do the time warp again. Let's go back in time to 1963 and see what all the hullabaloo is about. And we leave this issue with the explosion of Earth, because as soon as Seance goes back in time, he no longer has control over the nuclear device that Hazel and Cha-Cha armed, and sure enough, Earth blows up. But is it really blown up? Tune in next issue to find out. Umbrella Academy Dallas has been such a great series. I've been loving it. Gabriel Baugh's art is just fantastic on this, and it's just a story for the ages. Got the dark humor, got everything. Highly recommend this pick. Now, on to the Fast 5. First up, from Marvel, we have Avengers The Initiative #22. Now, this is an ongoing arc of Avengers Initiative Disassembled. So basically, the camps are getting shut down, the programs are getting shut down because, you know, Tony's out of power, and it's Norman Osborn in power. Well, in this issue, the New Warriors and the Initiative are battling Ragnarok, aka Klor, aka the Clone Thor. He's on the loose again, and it's taken every single person there to try to take him down. The issue ends with Ragnarok winning, but they tried to calm him down and make him like blow a fuse when they were telling him, no, you're the fake Thor. See this real Thor? He's alive and well. And so Ragnarok sees this as a challenge, and he's going to go fight the real Thor to claim, you know, the Thor title. It's a very fun issue. Humberto Ramos' art was perfect choice for this issue, and it really made it more fun and enjoyable. Next up, from IDW, we have Doctor Who The Whispering Gallery one-shot. Now, the main reason I picked this up was A, it's a Doctor Who title, but B, it's Ben Templesmith's art. And it was really, really nice to see a different kind of art style for a series like Doctor Who. We find Martha Jones, one of my favorite passengers, and Doctor Who. It all starts with a pint of milk. That's all Martha Jones wants. They go to this planet of Grot, and they find out that they're in a whispering gallery. And what a whispering gallery is all these dead people, their portraits and their last thoughts, like embedded in the portrait, so you can hear what they were thinking. One of the people there is Grayla. She's dead, and Doctor remembers her. She was like so full of life, so full of emotion. On this planet, emotion's unallowed. We find out because there's an empathivore, which is a big, gross creature who feeds on emotion, and so that's why this culture has decided to not have any emotion at all. So the Doctor in the end saves the world, like the Doctor usually does, and by giving it an overdose on emotion, because he's been around for a while, he has plenty stored up. So it was very nice to see Ben Temple-Smith on a Doctor Who title, and even though if it was a one-shot, I think it was still worth your money, especially if you like either Ben Temple-Smith or Doctor Who. Next up from DC Comics, we have Green Lantern number 38. Now it's Hal Jordan and the Technicolor lanterns rings. As in this issue, you know, we see him as a Red Lantern kicking ass. He's battling Blue Lanterns until a Blue Lantern, St. Walker, slips on a blue ring and it cancels out the red. And now he's in a state of Green Lantern and Blue Lantern hybrid. Like the guy has to be stressed because all these different lantern colors are going on him, and he's kind of going crazy because of it. But we've discovered that the Blue Lanterns cannot function without a Green Lantern being present. So that's why St. Walker really needed to do that, so the Red Lanterns wouldn't kick their ass. Red Lanterns retreat, Sinestro and his posse retreat to Quard, their home head planet quarters, and we find out that Sinestro is going to deal with Mongol eventually, not to worry. He just has some family matters to attend to because Trusted Tusk said, hey, by the way, we know about your daughter. So very action-packed issue. We're going to get Orange Lanterns next issue, starting with the Agent Orange arc. So if you're a Green Lantern fan, it just keeps getting better and better, people. Next up from Marvel, we have Nova number 22. In my opinion, the Green Lantern of the Marvel Universe. But in this issue, we find out that Worldmind is recruiting all these humans from Earth. Tons of them. You know, if you're a great person, then you probably are invited to join the Nova Corps. And we find out that Richard Rider goes to Pegasus to get all these tests done on him to see if he actually is really crazy. And if so, if not, how are they going to fight against Worldmind? In the isolation chamber, we find out that Worldmind is a little voice in the back of every Nova Corps member's head, telling them what to do or how to react. And apparently humans are the best to control, so that's why he's choosing the humans. So Richard isn't happy about this, but his test results come back, and apparently having the Worldmind in his head for so long, his body's been deteriorating, and in 48 hours he's going to be dead. So, good cliffhanger. Can't wait to see how he's going to get out of this one. And finally, from Image Comics this week, we have The Sword number 15 by the Luna Brothers. In the previous issue, we found Dara has lost his sword to one of the henchmen of Knossos, and the henchman discovers that, hey, he really likes his sword, and I don't have to listen to you anymore, Knossos, god of everything Earth. So he battles, he's slaughtering his own, people to get to Knossos, and they finally battle. Dara sees her chance to get the sword back, runs after to get it. It kind of surprises him, and he, with his, super strength, punches her jaw off. And she's just a jawless girl coming at him going like, just freaky shit like that. This guy is just so dumbstruck by this thing coming at him still that's all she needs. She puts her hand on the sword, punches through his head, and you see this jawless Dara ready to battle Knossos. And it's just cliffhangers like this that make me love the sword so much. It's so violent, grotesque, and the cliffhangers are to die for. So if you really, really want something great, pick up the sword. I can't recommend this series enough. Alright, well that does it this week for Camy's Comic Corner. If you want more Camy's Comic Corner goodness, go to www.camyscomiccorner.com. From there you can subscribe to the RSS feed or on iTunes. And remember, if you're a U.S. resident and you leave me a review on iTunes, I will, and then send me your shipping address with your review, I will send you a random prize package, random comics to your house if you live in the United States. Also, if you like any of the comic book t-shirts that I'm wearing, like the War on Light, look, how badass does that look? Head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net, where all shirts for the month of February are 20% off. And also remember, Watchmen is coming out next week, people. Why not hook yourself up with a Watchmen t-shirt? So there's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts, and that's Kelly over at www.deadlinegraphics.net. So this has been Camy's Comic Corner. I have been your host, Cammy. I wish you all a great week. And I don't know why I keep throwing the cue cards. What is with... God...